You guys can take it away.
Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us. I am Chris Morton. I am a Magic consultant. I oversee the application consultants working on the front side. And joining me today is Melissa Pazinski.
Absolutely. And managed consultant here, and I get to oversee the data team, working hand in hand with Chris.
Are slides moving? The topic today is to talk about from vision to vantage point. Our goal today is just to be interactive. We're not here just to talk to you. We want to hear from you. And our question is for most of you who we believe are on vision today is why not vantage point? Why are we still using vision when the vantage point option is available to us? We're going to start today with a little screen that there should be a QR code for you to scan.
Yep.
It's coming up here just now. Give the slides a second to catch up.
There we go. Yep.
They're not.
What we're looking for is to go, how do we get from vision to a much more streamlined event of vantage point? So we would love to hear from you. Why not upgrade to vision? What are some of the reasons? You can scan the code, enter a response, and they'll show up here. It's completely anonymous.
If you don't like QR codes, it's at menti.com. And the code that you're asked to insert is 33001234. And Amelia, yes, this is strictly about transitioning from vision to vantage point, but we will also be reviewing some of the new features that are coming out in 7.0 as they're part of our presentation. To cost to train. Take upgrade.
What we want to make sure of is some of the reasons sometimes we hear for people not yet upgrading are items that is misinformation. Some people have been told, oh, your system's going to be down for 2 weeks, and that's not the case. And so we want to make sure that we're addressing real concerns and dispelling any myths that might be out there as well.
I don't know how is Menti popping up here. I don't know what idiom is. Can someone expand on that? Lots of customizations. Okay. We'll talk about training. A well laid out plan and process. We can help you there. Okay, so lots of customizations. So we'll touch on that as well today here a little bit.
Absolutely.
So coming out of the Clarity study, we know that the top initiatives for any firms are business process improvement, automating tasks, and investing in training. Two people mentioned the training investment that comes with moving to a new system. One thing that we can help with is this process. So what VantagePoint offers VantagePoint offers improvements in all three of these areas. First, it's an integrated. The new UI allows for access from multiple locations, and it really supports today's remote workforce. It improves productivity by allowing for the collaboration and the integration of hubs. The screen designer is now easier to use. Collaboration is boosted by the UI being able to access from anywhere. No longer do you need to be in the office to get into your system. Project planning is now integrated with the project, and now we see an improvement in resource management. We also see an increase in profitability with more informed decisions. Dashboarding in Vantagepoint is drastically better than the dashboarding product that was in Vision. One of the biggest improvements comes in the dashboarding. There's also improvements in absence processing and previewing from some 7.0 features. We'll see some new AI.
So let's move into a little bit more of why Vantagepoint and the productivity, and looking at some of the responses you sent, because it is a big upgrade, and we're not going to tell you differently on that. As you can see, it's a complete new interface. However, all of your data comes over. You don't lose anything, which is a big deal. It's not different software. So I see one of the comments was, like getting to Vision wasn't fun. I personally went through the same transition. It wasn't fun. I fully agree. Coming though from Vision to Vantagepoint, you're not losing data, and you're going to get a streamlined data entry. Whereas when you're in a project, you can go straight into estimates, you can go straight into contracts, you can revenue forecast, entering at one place and it going everywhere for you, and having everything related to a project in one place. So you're not leaving projects, going over to project review, or opening up in another window. You have it all right here together, and it makes a huge difference with having their hubs consolidated. They do the same for your clients. When you go to firms, you can go see vouchers, you can go see invoices right there, never having to leave your hub, as info centers are now renamed hub. And one other thing that's really nice, and for any of you that have to, when somebody comes along and decides, oh, we would like another field, and then you have to go down to Screen Designer, go find it, put it together, things like that, then come back over, figure out where the system put it on the backside, so that you can go find that field that might be behind the grid in order to get it in the right place. Here, under other actions, you're able to just select Screen Designer, add your field right here, and put it exactly where you want it. It's a huge time saver and allows you much, much more flexibility in that method. If you don't like this field here, you can just hit Screen Designer and move it over here and never have to leave that area. What we're seeing next, though, is collaboration. So, Chris, you want to touch on some of this?
Sure. Yes, thank you. So boosting collaboration. So the new UI allows you to access the ERP system from anywhere. No more connected to Windows. I often have run Vantagepoint on a tablet, able to connect and review information from multiple devices all over the country. But more than that, it also be the integration of project planning into the project hub allows for a tightly linked system, so that the information from the project is flowing directly into the plan, and the plan is now completely in sync with the project. This allows for everybody to be seeing the same view of the project plan together and able to understand where the project is going. The new scheduling tab allows for the setting up of dependencies. So now we can, and that is again connected directly to the project and its milestones. The integration of this planning, I have seen a lot higher adoption rate of planning since people have moved from Vision into Vantagepoint. And because planning has become more adopted, we're now seeing better resource management. The resource management in Vantagepoint is a much smoother UI, much easier to use, easier to filter, easier to navigate, easier to color code. All improvements over the product inside of Vision. All of this ties into the ability for us to forecast revenue.
Absolutely. And revenue forecast, for those who use opportunities, There's always your estimated fee, and then you have the ability to spread it across a monthly or other, time frames and allocate it across. What they've taken is that functionality and rolled it even deeper and given a revenue forecast option that is directly linked with your project and your plan. This is a snippet of what that screen looks like. So you have your complete structure. So you have your plan dates, but then you have your forecast dates, and you can sit and forecast out your revenue based on your contract or what you have still in backlog. And it will automatically then be ready for you with revenue forecast reporting, which is a huge component. It is currently a manual process to update revenue forecast, but we do have some scripts that help with that will automatically update it for you and populate your backlog and spread out what's left for your time periods. It does drive a little more of the plan adoption that Chris was mentioning, because it allows you to start saying, hey, here's my dates, here's when it really is going to be complete, and so I have this much revenue still to earn. Having project planning integrated is what we believe one of the biggest points and advantages of Vantagepoint, because Vision, as anyone who uses planning knows, was not connected. And it's a reason that many firms did not use it and did not enjoy the benefits that planning can bring.
One of the biggest improvements inside of Vantagepoint is its dashboards. And dashboarding is an area where Deltek is investing a lot of time and resources, as even in 7.0, we're seeing new dashboards and new dashboard bases being rolled out. They're just rolling out the new AR dashboard base. With the new dashboards, we're able to set up specific dashboards by role. And in these dashboards, we can do things like project profitability, backlog, pipeline for the specific person. A project manager might want to see a different kind of pipeline report than your BD or marketing people. Executive leadership has their own dashboards where they want to see profitability by division or by sector, where a project manager maybe we're just looking for their own projects. All of this is configurable and set up in specific dashboards and dash parts, which allows for instant information at the fingertips of your users. Being able to bring this information forward quickly and easily really helps project managers and project accountants and executives know quickly what projects need attention, where change orders are needed, where more planning is needed, and where adjustments may need to be made for resources and staffing. With Vantagepoint, we can determine where someone lands when they log in. So upon login, we can push every user to a specific user-defined dashboard so that they know they can see the information we want them to see every time that they log in. New in 7.0 and improving the absence process. Finally, absence requests and PTO requests are now flowing into your absence planning and your project planning. It's taken a little while to get there, but it's now there. And this really helps when we have our users come in and say, I'm going to take a week of vacation. That now shows up in the plans and in our resource management. So we know that that resource is not going to be available for that project when they're out on PTO. And new AI assistance. AI is a very popular topic these days. And with 7.0, we're seeing some new AI capabilities coming out. And these are really interesting. One is the Project Smart Summary. This uses generative AI to review the information on the project and create a summary of the project where you can review the project details. It's easy to understand this project status without going through all of the pages and all of the details on the hub. Right now, project managers and users might need to click on multiple tabs to collect dates and information. With this generative AI Smart Summary, it will be able to pull those fields into the summary and present them in a single screen for people to review. It also reviews financial health of the project, and again brings that into a single view and a single moment for people to review, instead of having again to click into project review or click into reporting or even a dashboarding. This is all done through generative AI. They're also bringing in timesheet assist. More than just saying copy from client or copy from prior period. the AI will now try to assist the user in prompting them on what projects they perhaps want to add or what projects they were working on to quickly add them to their timesheet. Instead of just doing the old copy from previous, and now it's now looking at the behavior of the user and generating what they believe that timesheet should look like and helping them enter their time. Definitely cutting down on decisions from the timesheet entry and hopefully cutting down on errors that we see in timesheets. Ask Deltek is now Ask Della, which is now going to be a generative AI tool, which will be able to generate project emails and information like that. So no more Hey Deltek is growing into a more generative AI platform to help users create smart summaries and those kinds of things that they might need as the project goes forward. Going back to our original question of why not Vantage? So what I see is I see several people that mentioned big upgrade and customizations. One thing we want to talk about a little bit, if that came up, was that the API for Vantagepoint. So we're going to get a little bit technical here. I apologize. The API for Vantagepoint is a modern API on a modern API framework versus the old service-oriented architecture of Vision. This new architecture allows for easier integrations. So those customizations, integrations that you have built into Vision are easily moved into a RESTful API, which is a more modern platform and easier to work with. Customizations are always a hang up for some, but this is where Action can help. Melissa is the head of an entire team of software engineers and data specialists that can help move those customizations into Vantagepoint and ultimately help us evaluate whether those customizations are needed anymore. We have found many times when the customization was built into Vision because Vision didn't have the functionality, but that functionality is now available at Vantagepoint, and that we can move from the customization into the native software. Training is a big deal. Deltek Learning Zone has great videos to help users understand the new UI, understand the new menuing, find the things, where did this go? Well, a lot of the functionality has stayed relatively the same in the accounting, where everything has moved. And those videos are great for telling people your cash receipts are here now, and finding those. Action can provide additional training resources to help your users better understand the UI, understand your own workflow and your processes, both at the super user level and at the end user level. We do that. Nobody has moved more people from Vision to Vantagepoint than Action. No partner has. We can define and lay out the plan for you. If you're looking for a plan of how this goes, we set out an entire schedule. We have a 15-step lean process that we implement, that we go through with every one of our implementations, reviewing each step of the way, moving you from that Vision platform into the Vantagepoint platform. And we can lay this out at a very detailed project plan for your upper management to see and review.
So I would add to that so what a lot of people don't realize is if you are Vision, which we're assuming on this call, everyone's still on Vision. On Vision, you can then request your preview environment from Deltek. You're able to take and have them upgrade your Vision database to Vantagepoint. You're able to see what does it look like now that it's in Vantagepoint. You can rearrange your screens, you can move your fields, you can change your security, you can update workflows, change workflows, and like Chris said, we have found there's been a lot of what was previous customization has actually not been necessary in Vantagepoint, and we are big fans of allowing the system to work as it's designed so that you get the most value out of your investment. Once you have everything set and make your decision, okay, we're going to go live, let's say June 8th, which I realize nobody's going to go live in 30 days. But you make your decision, Deltek spins up your new live database. There is a tool within Vantagepoint that says, okay, in your preview, you had everything set. Here's your workflows. Here's where you had fields. Here's where you had security. and there's a tool and it transfers all those settings, workflows and everything over to your production Vantagepoint environment, and you are ready to go right away. So it's not a downtime of typically more than a day. Oh. The biggest thing that then comes into making sure you're ready for everyone to log in. But we've had no issues with data transferring. We've had no issues of losing, posted records. We've had no issues of any data integrity whatsoever through the upgrade. Most people's comment is, why did we wait so long afterwards?
So let's allow time now so for everybody to come off of mute. We want this to be, the presentation had a few slides because we mostly wanted to hear from you. So what is your, why are we waiting? What is how can we help? And what is it that we can answer for you to help you better understand the process and how this all works together?
So this is Amy. I'm just going to say that I don't think they can unmute themselves, but they can raise their hands or they can put in the chat that they want to be unmuted. So Amanda, I will unmute you.
Ah, okay. So it's the joy of WebEx.
Exactly.
So Amanda, I think you're unmuted.
All right.
Maybe.
Hello.
Can we that?
You should get a notification that you can unmute yourself.
So Tom, yes. All attachments that are using the file stream database come straight over. Yes. Invoices processed in Vision are still viewable in Vantagepoint, as long as they're attached to the file stream database, which would be surprised if they're not. Matter of fact, one of the biggest improvements in the AP process, where we're going to talk AP for a moment here, started in 6.5 and improve a bit in 7, is that the ability for intelligent character recognition inside the software. You can now load the invoice into the ICR system. It will recognize invoice number, date, vendor, and pre-populate those fields if possible in the AP approval process. So all you have to do then is review the invoice, make sure I read it correctly, code it, and route it for approval. So that's one of the biggest upgrade differences between the two systems.
And in Vantagepoint, you're able to, not only streamline that, but you can, when you're easily routing it through the process, you can see where it's at in the process. So you have visibility, which makes a huge benefit as well.
Can y'all hear me okay? This is Amanda.
Hey, Amanda. Hey, it worked.
It took a few tries, but we got it.
No worries. I had to change my audio too on my laptop. So, okay. So from start to finish, what would be the timeline? Because we've been told 18 months, and that's really kind of got upper management concerned. So if I could get, and on the question, they want to like full timeline as to how the process goes, what's going to happen, what are the steps? Because I know the downtime thing, system downtime is a thing. And they want to make sure that we're not out at any point. I'm kind of the only Deltek person at our company. And so we are also, I should probably start with this. We are multi company, multi-currency.
Mm-hmm. And
we have currently 21 separate international entities set up. So I have a lot to move.
You do have a lot to move.
I have a lot of customizations and I have a lot of processes in place. So I think that's one of their concerns too, is making sure that we don't lose all of our setups like you said, in the process, which sounds great that it's not going to, but the more detailed information I can give, I'm hoping the faster we can upgrade. Because I'm
so-
trying to upgrade, but it's above my pay grade to actually have it.
So I can give you a generic answer, and then I'll give you the more specific process. So generically, the timeline for the full lane process for implementation takes anywhere between 7 and 9 months.
Okay.
We can do it in 6. It's tight. I don't like to because it doesn't allow for improvements. It just allows for a lift and shift.
Okay.
We can do it. Now the more specific answer is, there's a product that's out there that's been out for a long time. It's called the Readiness Report.
Uh-huh.
It's a report that the partners sell. It's a that we can run against your Vision database.
Okay.
That will pull. What that does is it identifies all of the areas that we need to address in your migration. It looks
Okay.
for opportunities becoming projects, look for customizations, reports, custom reports, all of that information. It finds that information and presents it in a giant Excel sheet.
Okay.
From there, as partners, we can review that with you and say, okay, we have identified these areas that we're going to need this much time to move, or tell me more about this customization, or tell me more about this. And from there, we can build a much more detailed and accurate timeline of how long it takes. I haven't, the longest I've done, I'm about to close out a 13th month process.
Okay.
To be honest, we could have gone live 4 months ago if we wanted to. It just kind of tailed out a little bit, mostly because of auditors being around in the first quarter, kind of slowed us down from going live. So, but it's not an 18-month process
Okay.
at all. So,
Agreed.
The specific planning abilities, it sounds like, are there. I literally just implemented the PO module like 2 weeks ago, but I'm not fully live in all 21 countries yet. So it's gonna take me a hot minute to get through that. But all of that work that I've done, like if I lost that in Vantagepoint, I might cry.
No,
So-
it all comes over. All your
It all
settings.
comes over.
It comes over.
That comes over. Yeah. Yeah.
In all multi-company, multi-currency settings, none of those change. Those all come over exactly as is.
Okay, that's a relief too.
Yes, yes. Which we do. What does happen, and someone's actually a little more detail. So what does happen is opportunities. If you're using opportunities heavily, when they get merged into projects, we have a lot of work to do around those workflows.
Okay. We
Because-
are not using opportunities yet. It's on my timeline, but I'm trying to get the bigger picture of the stuff that I know that as a company we need ASAP. We just haven't been using Vision to its full potential at all, and I'm really would like to use Vantagepoint to its full potential. So, but until we do that, I'll just yeah.
Yep.
We just recommend people don't try to go live in the last quarter of their fiscal year,
Oh, absolutely not.
or in the first or in January, just because you got to get a lot of W-2s and all the other wonderful things out.
Right. Exactly.
So we see more happening in the summer.
Yep.
For those that are on a calendar fiscal year, we see more happening, June, July, August type timeframes.
Okay.
So Andrea, I think what I like to, it's hard to address specifics in a 45-minute webinar on the processes. We would love to talk to you further about, we can actually do some demos in Vantagepoint and show you actually how things compare while you're reviewing other softwares. We could definitely connect you with our team to demo Vantagepoint for you, if that's something that you're interested in. And then you can compare and contrast the two systems.
We're actually working with your team already and trying to figure out our process. And we've had a preliminary demo. And it was useful, but obviously there's a lot that it does. So I was assuming this was a little bit more like, here's what Vision did and this is why it's better in Vantagepoint. You did a little bit of that and that's fine. But I was just hoping that these seminars that I'm listening to at least give us a little bit more insider. But yeah, we are already working specifically with your team to try to figure out if it's the right move for us and when.
I understand. Okay, great.
I will say a few notes about Vantagepoint. Deltek has not announced and end of life revision support. When they do that, it will be approximately a 2-year from the date they announce it.
Oh, okay, 2 years from the date. Okay.
Right. So 2 years from the date they announce it. I will say, based on volume of people that will need to migrate, it will be harder to accommodate everyone as well as we would like to.
And
And,
Go back real
and I'm
quick.
trying to be realistic, you know, because if there's a ton of people that decide to transition at once.
So the preview of our Vantage Point from our Vision database, we go directly to Deltek for that.
It depends if you're on premise or if you're cloud hosted.
We're cloud hosted.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's done in your cloud. You go into your cloud portal, and then down the bottom right corner, there's a great preview environment. You have to agree to migrate in so many months to say yes. And if we need more
And
time,
they do
we'll
have their
ask them
CAP
nicely.
program that we also recommend.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
say-
there's a CAP program.
Yeah, and we recommend signing up for the CAP program.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
And then the other part that I've heard is, well, we're still waiting for Vantage Point to kind of be stable. And I will say prior to 6.5, I was personally from the data side, I wasn't a fan of Vantage Point just because why move? Vision suited my needs. 6.5 is the first one where it really came out and said, hey, we're Vantage Point. It's no longer getting things from the Vision platform to Vantage Point. Now it's how can we improve Vantage Point? And that's why you've seen 7.0. There's a lot of little things that really start making the system effective. And it's fantastic actually to see them starting to improve and adding things like the integrated absence approvals and such.
And the other thing is to remember in all of this is that, you know, those of us who've been around this process for a while, remember when Vision was put in the rearview mirror, right? And Deltek said Vantage Point is the future. I think that was in Orlando in like 2019. They're not improving Vision. They're keeping it secure. They're doing your year end, but they're not putting new features there.
Right.
The new features, the improvement in the software, all of their focus is on the Vantage Point platform. And like we said, I agree with Melissa. I would say they were on par at 6 Vision and Vantage Point, where at 6.5 Vantage Point has started to pull away, and I think at 7 Vantage Point's now clearly the winner.
Yes.
As far as which one's the better ERP system from the user standpoint, from the data standpoint, from a feature standpoint, the information and the work that's now in 7 with some of the improvements they've made. It's a superior product now, and they're just going to keep putting more work and effort into it. Versus Vision, you have what you have. It's never going to change, and that's something we have to think about from a technology stack standpoint. Eventually, we need to move because the technology itself is moving.
I do have a random question. Is it easier to build out custom reports within Vantage Point than it, like in Vision for everything that I need? No offense, I call action. We
Mhm.
spend a lot of money for a customized spreadsheet that I would like to be able to build myself. But because we're hosted, I can't write my own scripts. I can't do all of that. So, is there some kind of feature to where I can take, for instance, a basic balance sheet, but then add some important details that I might want to see, whether it's year over year, month over month, that kind of thing. That's easier to get to and easier to build out than it currently is in Vision.
The UI is easier to work in, but the functionality isn't for what you're talking about. If you're having to go to a custom report building, right? Actually, an actual custom report, not just tweaking a base report, but you need specific fields pulled off of custom fields. That's not it. It's the same. It still requires a custom report builder person to do that. But
Do have
base reports haven't.
options.
Yeah, but the dashboarding options
And then
push people more towards dashboards than their custom reporting for that purpose.
And so when you're wanting to go even to that level, that's when we typically recommend a BI tool. We partner with Focus because it's the most effective BI tool that we found integrates with Vantagepoint.
Okay.
But then it lets you do everything you want to do and you control your fields,
Okay.
which is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Need a lot more options for consolidated financial reports.
Right.
What's out of the box
Agreed.
with balance sheet and income statement? I need way more.
Then we should
Agreed.
talk about Focus. I think that solves your need.
Okay.
And that's the beautiful thing about Vantagepoint is our ability to expand and integrate with it.
Yeah.
Action is an entire suite of Vantage Pro tools that we've built. There are customizations that we can write into the application. They're just another hub on your menu. This can help you solve some of the shortcomings. So we say the business specific needs that you have that Vantagepoint might not meet. We know some of those, and we've already built some customizations around those that we can put quickly in place for you to help solve some of your problems.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Trying to scroll through the chat. Did I miss any? Can AR invoices your pull-up and project review still be viewed at Vantagepoint? Vantagepoint AR review.
I'm
Yes.
trying to unmute Tom. Let's see.
Are we trying to unmute Tom so we can ask his questions?
Well,
Tom's pretty
yeah,
fast.
so he can interact. I'm trying.
I love technology.
It's weird because I'm just clicking a button, but it doesn't work. But I think they have to accept unmute.
I think so. Yeah, I think you can allow them to unmute and then they can unmute. It's because you don't want to all of a sudden turn their mic on without them knowing. Wouldn't that be fun?
I might be the wrong Tom. Hold on. We have two Toms. Oop, hold on.
Oh,
Might be the wrong Tom. Let me try the other Tom.
Tom K.
Tom K. There we go. He's green now.
Awesome.
We chose WebEx for this webinar so that we could allow people to visit with us.
We did because
Yeah,
on 24 doesn't allow it at all, right? And so we tried.
I'm back on mute. Try this again.
Hello.
There he
Hey.
is.
Hi, there you are.
Oh, hello, Colin.
Yeah, so we can pull up our old AR invoices in Vision.
Yeah.
You know, they're not PDFs. They're just going to project review, look at your AR invoices. And I think they're recreated at the time you click them because they're not saved PDFs or anything. Are those going to be available?
Yes.
So they'll be,
Yep.
recreated.
None of that changes. That's still available for you.
Okay, because like when you recreate them, it goes based off the new
Yeah.
invoice template, and then so if you change the template, it doesn't look like how it was when you actually sent it out, so it'll still pull up the same way essentially.
Right.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I can stop sharing and I can actually show that to you guys. Let me go find that screen.
Because that's where we store our invoices, so it's kind of an issue.
Right.
Absolutely. 7.0 likes me today.
We're all fine with technology today.
Well, and a big component of mine is I have a whole lot of things I test in mine. So
Yeah, you don't exactly have a clean version of Vantagepoint.
let me get logged in here. Let me move this over to screen so you guys can see it. And get that shared over, and then we can just show you real quick.
So, Christy, is there a complete catalog of modules and add-ons? Yes, our sales team can review all of the options of the add-ons and what each one includes with you as far as licensing goes and which ones can solve your needs.
So let's look at, I've got a project pulled up here, and like I said, this is a demo database, so there's some trash in here, I apologize. But one of the things you see when you go to projects is I can just click on the invoices, and there's my invoices right there.
Well, that's nice.
And those were all processed before.
Yep. And then you can
Okay.
look at the filed invoice, just straight up, and it'll let you see. Well, mine's
Yeah.
not because we're having a moment, but
It's a demo database. File stream might not be turned on.
yeah. So, but you can look at your invoice details right here. Makes it very nice. And then when you have your gear icon, that's when you can decide what columns you want in each of your grids. And that's throughout Vantagepoint.
Oh yeah, grids are way better in Vantagepoint.
So, and if you have any AR comments related to that one as well. But being able to just go right here and see, you know, here's your AR. You know, my data is older, so that's why everything looks like it's in horrible state. But let you see your retainer right there. What's your average receivables age? So everything about your invoices right there. And if you had a huge list, you can easily just expand your list and pop it up to be bigger. You can also download the list, and then you can also filter it. So you can look for invoices of a certain amount, or, you know, any that still have things due, things like that.
Sounds good. Vantagepoint can be hosted in-house, right? We don't have to use the cloud.
Correct.
Yep.
It all depends on your purposes. We suggest cloud just because it's, you know, it's easy. You don't have the IT infrastructure. There are some people that are adamant that they want access to their back end, which we also respect. And then you look at either the option of on-site or Action Cloud, because Action offers a cloud that gives you complete access to your database as well.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to run a test database.
Yep.
So if you know, if you're on the cloud, you got to wait a day or two for them to create it. Then, you know, when payroll's due in 24 hours, you can't wait to test something.
Well, and you will always, when you're on the cloud with Deltek, you'll always have your production database and a sandbox database.
Okay.
And so you do have two databases, so it does give you one to go, as I call it, tinker with
And
things.
is the sandbox database updated on when you ask for it, or just every
Yep.
night, or when you ask for it?
When you-
Okay.
yeah, when you
So
ask for it.
it's when you're asked for it.
So when do they turn that over? In a couple hours or
I think it's 24 hours,
24
I've
hours?
usually
Okay.
seen it 24 hours.
Okay.
but not immediate though. If you're looking for like, I need to test this tonight, then
Right.
then no, right? That's the there's a delay in that service. But
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things holding us.
yeah, it's a hard. You know, I've played with the idea multiple times back in my old role about where to host it is best. So.
So I switched here to firms where you can see, here's your, you know, your ARs here as well.
And is the AR dashboard built in this demo database?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not. Probably not. Yeah, this is not our.
Yeah,
We do.
because Ollie's not a vendor if I took it, you know.
Yeah. This is not a sales database. This is databases that we as consultants use to set things up for clients. So.
Yeah, so
Usually
I
has
test a lot of things in here. So,
Yep. So.
so you can see your vouchers here.
Any more questions on the system now that we have it up? You guys can take a look at 7.0 here as we're clicking around.
Is everything we see on the left there, marketing campaigns, master service agreements, licensure, is that all out of the box stuff?
So this is the professional license and the user maintenance are custom hubs that we have built for clients. So it's a package that we do.
So Andrew is asking if somebody wants the AR database, does it have to be custom built?
No, it's the AR dashboard. I was answering the AR dashboard. If we click there and went through the process of building dashboards, it's there. It's not pre-built. It's a part that's available to us to build the dashboards for.
So let me go to real fast. One of the things in Vision that I hate about vouchers is trying to find certain vouchers and going through the list. And so the filter button is such a nice thing to quickly pull vouchers. since you can't easily search for them sometimes. Let me see what I have in dashboards here. I haven't played with them. Let's see, do we have a
Probably not. No.
project manager dashboard? Because I'm usually working, I apologize, I'm working on the data side and trying to make things and arguing with it, so. But you can easily see, like, here's mine. And here my name is Pat Hill. I don't have AR on my project specifically, so. Let's see the project. But here you can see some of the dashboards that, and a lot of dashboards come pre-built in the system already for you. These are some of those.
Or just require a tweak, like a filter added to them. So I don't want to load every single project. I only want to load them per project manager. So they're very easy to configure in just a half-hour training, and you can do a lot of damage or good stuff to the project, to the dashboard.
And I just wanted to mention, Andrea, I know you said you were looking for more details. So next Thursday, May 9th, our next expert webinar will be on what's new in Vantagepoint 7.0 reporting and dashboards. So that might be one you want to join just to get a better idea of what's in there. They're going to cover new project forecast report options, new unbilled revenue report available, new employee availability system dashboard, and new AP detail base dashboard base.
And I believe the week after that, we are doing one on BI.
Yes, the focus webinar is on May 16th.
Nice.
And you will all get emails on those.
Great.
Actually, the focus email, I think the first email went out today, I believe. Does anyone else have any questions? I know we're getting near the end here.
Is Vantagepoint always run through a browser? I noticed your screen is all a browser.
Always is a for the average user. Yes, there are still a few features, very few features still live in what Deltek now refers to as the smart client, which is the old Vision client. I think it's like 90%, and it's all system settings, or and
this is what's left over in the desktop.
That's
really just
6.5
things that
database.
you don't want people getting into regularly, like approval workflows, where you want to keep people locked out of anyway, or your organization setup.
So accounting would use the application. Everybody else would access it in a browser.
Yeah,
No,
like so 95% of your people will never leave this.
Yeah. And even accounting doesn't go in there very often. So
now,
it's
the only
not
thing you'll see over here is your
I don't
some
think
task
anything's left.
items.
Yeah, I think the transaction center, I think, has one thing left in it that's
right.
And 7. That's a 6.5.
And they've still left this project review here, but when you're over here in the desktop, the web version, you've got come out of dashboards. When you're in projects, you just go straight to project review for that project.
So the accounting navigation
Stays here.
They almost
it's
never
down
leave.
there. Okay, I thought it was gone completely. I was very
No.
okay. There it is.
So
We do a little bit of configurations in the desktop client for approval workflows, making sure your org structure is what you wanted, and we pretty much don't go back for any real reason for the rest of the project.
and this project review is so much nicer than before. Where you remember in Vision, you have to go down to the other project review, not the one in projects, to go tell it you want to include unposted time. Where here, you just click right there on the project. And you can put, how you want to do is your estimated to completion dates, because it's pulling from your plan data. And you can flip between billing and cost right here as well. And then you can see there's all sorts of columns for your billing view and columns for your cost view.
And who has access to that is all controlled in role security. They can see billing or sequence.
And KPIs are even listed for you. But they also have put here where you can update your percentages complete right here in the grid as well. So for those that use that option. So they've tried to put, you know, a lot of things together in one place instead of running all over the system.
That's the consolidated hubs. Things are.
But if you can't find something, you can just type it in up here, like workflow.
Oh. If you can't find a field, you also can search for it
Oh, that's true. I forgot to tell you that.
on the project screens. These are all the new. We're previewing the next webinar. We'll start talking about things that are different. Than
Yeah, the find field.
Find
Whenever
field.
somebody tells you they can't find a field, they can just click find field and go find it. So,
It only finds fields that they have permission to access. So if it's a hidden field for them, it won't find it for them.
I assume list view is still available.
yep,
Yes, and there is a
Just have
proven
to-
7.0, so it's
there you go.
even better than it was.
I was also told the layout is kind of limited to just 3 columns of stuff. Is that true? Because in Vision you can
Not
put
anymore.
stuff wherever.
Now
you
it's
want.
5. Now
Five
it's
columns.
5. 5. Yeah, they get it to 5, so we can now get to 5
I
columns.
can show you. So you actually, when you go into design mode right here, so I want like this tab. I can go to the accounting tab. Uh-oh. I'm having a discussion with the system right now. I apologize.
There we go. Columns,
You can
it's
see
3
right
columns
here where
there.
you can change the number of columns per tab.
Yeah.
So maximum is 5. So. And then you can just move your field right there and be done. Add a field, add a grid.
Add a button, add a workflow, add automation.
And use it, save, and you're out. So the ease of use is a drastic performance. Well, Chris, did we touch on all of the why nots?
I think so.
Oh,
So we're always here for you. Our contact information is on that final slide. Would love to hear from you, and if you have specific questions, we'd like to meet and talk about the process. We'd like to know more about the readiness report to see how far away or how much work it's going to be. Please reach out to myself or Melissa, and we will discuss that with you. I thank you all for attending, and look forward to working with you all in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And please do reach out to Chris or Melissa if you have any questions or need assistance. And I will follow up with an email either later today or tomorrow with a recording for anyone that is interested in it. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.